If you're a black billionaire talking about some racism, make sure that you're not on that diddler list or the diddler himself. Now imagine the audacity. Okay, let me just go ahead and play that out. Let me just play it out.
No matter how big you can become, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you do, no matter how big you can become, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you do in the community, no matter what you do in your profession, being African American in America is always tough, and they always gonna let you know.
This how I know LaCap James is just making shit up. You know that moment when you got to turn in that essay, 1,500 words or whatever the hell, and you just making stuff up. You don't know the subject like that. You don't really give a damn. But you got to fluff it up. You got to fill it up. That was me. I was a master at fluffing that up. For anybody who watches me, you probably know that I'm a master at the yappery sometimes. But damn, Braun, as an African American in America, born in America, who is African descent, that is black American in the Americas, the top of the Americas, not the bottom of the Americas, not the Canada, not the Mexico America, but the America. Like, all he's trying to say is, if you're black, you're facing racism. But he has to say it with a serious face because he is a literal billionaire, a man who has, let me get this damn thing off the screen before it pisses me off looking at the diddler's damn face. Hold up, folks. Hold up. Okay. Imagine having the audacity, the unwitted gumption to blame racism, to point to racism, systemic injustices when you are the definition of the power structure. You are the elite. You are not only a wealthy black man, you are one of the wealthiest black men in one of the wealthiest nations in the world. You are not only a prominent individual, you are one of the most prominent individuals in all of society. Imagine being that person and saying this, because y'all need to hear this again, because I don't think y'all really heard what I heard.
No matter how big you can become, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you do in the community, no matter what you do in your profession, being African American in America is always tough. And they always gonna let you know that you are the N-word, no matter who you are.
They're always going to let you know that you are the N. I'm nowhere near the Billionaire Boys Club yet. I have aspirations of doing very, very big things. I'm not speaking on many of those things because I keep the evil eye away from the things that God has kept in the secrecy of my heart until those things come to fruition. But this is what I will say. At the amount of money I'm making now, the type of lifestyle I'm able to afford myself and my family, I would not give a single damn if somebody saw me as the N-word. God honest truth. If somebody told me to my face 100 times a day, and sometimes they do, whether it's in my comment section here or in my inbox somewhere else, oh, trust me, they get those off. They sling those words off. And, oftentimes it's coming from those pissed off folks at the left. They're showing their true colors. Ain't been that pissed since Abraham Lincoln helped to free the slaves. But if somebody told me 10 times a day, you are the N-word, you are an N-word, 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 I would look at my life. I would look at all my blessings. I would look at my bank account and say, if this is what it means to be an N-word, you need to say that about 20 more times. This sounded like an affirmation to me because if it's producing this, oh my God. Now, again, the reason I bring this up is because I believe that this is a bottleneck. I believe it is an actual chain. It is a shackle upon our people. The continuous and perpetual story of I am still a this. There is still this glass ceiling. I can't do X, Y, and Z. My guy, you have created a $1 billion brand. You have been worshipped. They have been worshiping at the altar of LeBron James since you were 13, 14 years old. Nike slid you money up under that table at 16, 17 years old. The earliest, the youngest, the highest paid, and yet still you're able to find this out of that. That's my biggest problem. And the problem that then ensues is you claim, I guess, to be a role model, or maybe you are perceived as such. Maybe you don't see yourself as one. Maybe you don't. But you are one. You're somebody who is at least looked at and admired by others. So they're looking to you, the youth, they're looking to you for how do I come up? And instead of telling them your journey is up to you, you determine what you make of your life. And these factors don't actually matter. As a matter of fact, in this day and age, it is better for a young boy, young girl who looks like me and you than it has been in all of history. And I'm not just talking in context of slavery and Jim Crow. I'm speaking in context of just global history of poverty, abject poverty around the world, of a lack of resources, of, a lack of hygiene, things of that nature that have been going on for thousands and thousands of years of human history. Right? How hard life used to be for an average human being. Things are better now than they've ever been, ever in the history of histordom. And yet, instead of taking that opportunity to give kids that message, this is the message that he has.
Being African American in America is always tough, and they always gonna let you know that you are the N-word, no matter who you are.
Systemic racism, they trying to keep their foot on the neck. Up to my level, up to Jay-Z's level, up to LeBron's level. It's not easy for me.
Now, we can't take nothing the diddler says serious at this point in time, but I'm still going to take these words into context because he is a quote-unquote black man who made it to the upper echelon of society, right? He became an elite. It's always funny to me with this conversation about the white man this or the little hat people that and this, right? You had no problem working with these individuals when they were cutting you checks. Diorgio, whatever damn company it is, behind Ciroc. There was no issue signing the contract with the Cavaliers, with the Miami Heat, with the Los Angeles Lakers. There was no problem signing the contract with Capitol Records or Atlantic or UMG, whoever it is that, Bad Boys was under. There was no hesitation. You celebrated those moments when you were breaking those deals. Remember? Oh, but I was young and I didn't know. Okay. But there's a point that you did know and you continued. It's the same problem I have even when Kanye goes on these rants and, anti-system. I say, look, bro, you were still relying upon a larger system, and you chose to partner with a larger system. And you know what comes with that. It comes with their rules and their regulations because you're playing their game. I'm on YouTube. I have to play by YouTube's game. I have to play by YouTube's rules. YouTube is my partner in this, right? I produce content that I resonate with, that I love, but that is resonating with people out there somewhere. They don't give me a check at the end of the month because I'm a black man who has been disenfranchised. They don't give me a check because they feel some type of way. They give me a check based off of whether or not people are actually interested in what I have to create. As simple as that. There is nothing else there. So in some partnerships, what you produce and what you create, then you get back tenfold. And I wish more people understood how the music business actually worked. Because some people say, well, the whole thing's a scam, etc. Well, actually, I would say if I am an executive of a music label and I had to create a model, the model would be the exact same. It would be the exact same because there's no other way to break an artist who is unknown or essentially a record that is unknown than to put money into it, invest into it, and hope the public likes the damn thing, to push the damn thing. So I'm going to give you a loan. I'm going to give you an investment and say, hey, here's the money up front, and hopefully we make some money on the back end. And if you don't make money, I don't make money. So I got to collect. So to have a 50-50 partnership in music it's unheard of. It's unprecedented. That's why like a Cash Money and Baby over there or Birdman, that was an unheard of deal. To say we keep 85%, y'all have 15, it's a distribution, etc. But it's because they had the leverage. A lot of dudes get into the game and they don't have that much leverage. So what do they have? Maybe they have talent, they have ambition, they have a skill set. And so a label says, I'm going to invest into you. Now, are they not predators? Are there not individuals who are vultures and things of that nature? They absolutely are, just like in every single industry. I'm sure in the garbage collection industry, I'm sure in the trucking industry, there are individuals who have those sort of tendencies. But the business itself is always going to be up to the two partners. You can always walk away from a deal. Oh, but then you get blackballed, then you can't do nothing. Guess what? If you're good enough, can't nothing and nobody cancel you. We have seen that time and time again. Nobody and nothing can cancel you. So we come back to this conversation of the systemic racism. Why is it that billionaires are talking systemic racism? Why is it? And I've come to the conclusion that they're using this as a virtue signal. They're using it to try to stay relevant within a specific demographic of individuals. They want to say, hey, I feel your struggle. I feel your pain, because they actually can't resonate with you anymore. They're so far removed from it. LeBron James grew up in Akron, Ohio. Tough neighborhood, tough city, right? He grew up that way, but early on, because of his gifting, his talent, and his work ethic, he was able to become somebody that essentially had an easier road when it came to his environment. Yes, that doesn't make up for not having a father in the house. Yes, that doesn't make up for other things. But as far as systemic racism being an issue, the system of racism holding you back. There was not a single system that held him back. The very same system he is now seeing as problematic is actually the one that uplifted him, that allowed him an opportunity. Go back to Africa and see how that works. And I'm not saying that to be insulting, because I was born in Zimbabwe. So go back to Africa and see how that works. See if you will be paid $1 billion over a lifetime, or have $1 billion worth of contracts, etc., as somebody who puts a ball into a hoop. See if there is an industry for that. If there is a market evaluation that is going to allow for you to make that kind of money doing what you do. That's why I go ham about this, because it really does piss me off. It comes off as really ungrateful that you're making more money per minute than the average, or per minute of your job, time on task, than the average person is making in an entire year. And you still have the audacity to complain about what? About what? About racism? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Let's hear the diddler one more time. Go ahead and diddle, Diddy, because he really has the, the force behind it. And he was always one for the black people. Yeah. Y'all see who was up and down those lawsuits, right? What did those people look like? He didn't give a damn about anybody but himself.
Who you are.
Systemic racism, they trying to keep their foot on the neck. Up to my level, up to Jay-Z's level, up to LeBron's level. It's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah. They still treat us like...
Yeah, it's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah. I would beg to differ. Again, I'm not the dude who has a mentality that you don't suffer, you don't go through something just because you have money in your pocket, you have power and influence, etc. But I would be damned if I'm going to sit here and tell a lie that things are not significantly easier for you in the things that finances fix, right? Money solveth all things that money can solve, which is a lot of different things. It creates vast amounts of opportunity. He's saying this on a beachfront. You can't make this up, folks. He's saying this on a beachfront with his assistant right there, his other assistant right there, with his publicist right there, with his lawyer right there. You know what I mean? With the full staff around, people serving him hand over foot. It was a serving hand over foot. Let me not use phrases I don't even remember or even know that fully. He is being served like he is some sort of king, like he's some sort of royalty. You understand me? Sitting on a beachfront in Miami or Malibu or something of that nature. It might be somewhere overseas. It might be, somewhere on the beaches of Venice. And look at the The venom. Look at the venom. Systemic racism is what did this to me. Nah, brother, that's trauma that you're continuing to perpetuate and that you've allowed to dominate you. You became extremely successful, and I will not take this away. He worked extremely hard to get where he is. I know it's popular to downgrade, billionaires and multimillionaires for their success. I'm not one of those people. You're not going to catch me there. This is a degenerate human being, and this is a potential degenerate human being. Potential, right? This for sure. This, maybe. This one might be involved with this one. That's why I'm saying that, right? Otherwise, it's still allegedly or whatever. But I saw what I needed to see on that video with Cassie to know what this type of individual is, right? I'm not even going off the lawsuits themselves, the infinitum of them, right? The endless loop of lawsuits. But all of that being said, imagine having the world now at your fingertips because of the work you put in. Again, worked extremely hard, took care of his body, used his gifting, his talent, tapped into the things he was best at, developed those skills, became the best in the world, world class at them, having the entire world opened up to you. That's a beautiful thing. That's an inspirational story otherwise. But then instead of using that as an inspirational story, you double down on the very same narrative that's actually going to keep the other kid from doing anything because all the kid now hears is, damn, the system's against me. How dare you? How dare you? I get seen as a sellout because I say things like you can do it. You actually can pull yourself up by the quote unquote proverbial bootstraps. You actually can make something of yourself that you could not even fathom or imagine. There is so much in this life here for you. I promise you. If you just tap into what you have within yourself, stop looking at everybody else. Stop looking at everything else. Stop blaming everybody and everything else. If, your mama, your daddy, whatever it is, traumas that you dealt with, work through those traumas at the best capacity that you can. That's the most difficult part. But don't create unnecessary hurdles in your own way. Don't create unnecessary roadblocks for yourself because you feel that you need that to be justified. Right? That's the part that truly gets me, folks. It breaks my heart to see. That's why I'm so passionate. And that's why I can go every single day like this. Every single day. Because this message is forever going to be relevant. Because there's always going to be somebody. These are the gatekeepers, mind you. This is gatekeeping language. Listen one more time.
No
and then
matter
we'll do our conclusion.
how big you can become, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you do in the community, no matter what you do in your profession, being African American in America is always tough, and they always gonna let you know that you are the N-word, no matter who you are.
Systemic racism, they trying to keep their foot on the neck up to my level, up to Jay-Z's level, up to LeBron's level. It's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah. They still treat us like niggas.
Yeah. Enough is enough. It's time to start inspiring. It's time to start saying, you know what? This world that you have been given, whatever it may look like, however it may begin for you, you can make of it what you will. As difficult as that climb may be, I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And it's not because of the financial. It's not because of, the status or whatever else may come with it. Those are byproducts. It's the fulfillment that you get from being given over. That's why I wake up every morning and I'm excited. I am excited. It felt like hell for me when I went through like a recent stomach flu. I was out for 3 days. And thankfully I had a few, videos in the vault for y'all, etc. So if y'all saw he's falling off or whatever, 1 video a day or 2 videos in a day instead, it's because I was dogged. I was in bed, drinking fluids, and fluids were coming out of every orifice. Okay. That's just what was going on. Truth be told. But all I could think about was, damn, what's on my heart, what I want to articulate to the people, etc. And I realized in that time, this is what I love to do. And I want everybody else to tap into what they love to do. And when you stop involving yourself in all this drama, all this scandal, or stop giving yourself over to this victim mentality, you become free. And that freedom means something, folks. That freedom means something. It means everything, actually. When you unshackle yourself from those victim mentality in your head, You will thrive in ways you could not believe, in ways that are unique to you. It ain't about being a billionaire. It ain't about, the numbers on the board or whatever it is. It's about you fulfilling what you're here to fulfill. Simple as that. So appreciate y'all. Till the next time, deuces. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.